story you are about to see is true. The names have been changed to protect the innocent.
Dragnet is a very interesting story in the sense that Capitol came to us with this idea of doing Dragnet, and they said it's a surefire hit. And of course, I laughed all the way eventually to the bank. I said, there is no such thing as a surefire hit. They said, well, this has got something, and so forth. Anyway, they talked me into recording it, and sure enough, it became our first million seller. It was a big, big hit. Not only was that a hit, people like Henry Mancini and Blake Edwards got together as a result of Dragnet, wanted us to do the theme to Peter Gunn, which was a new television series that Henry was writing the music for and Blake Edwards was directing and so forth. Peter Gunn didn't take off as fast as we thought it would. But eventually, Peter Gunn became our second million seller. And they were both themes, as obvious. The third one, big one, is the Bunny Hop, which is still our biggest ever because it never stopped selling.
Put your right foot forward, put your left foot out, do the bunny hop, 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 hop.
Eventually, we did an album of The Twist, and then we did an album of The Swim, in trying to keep up with the trends of dances that were going on at the time.
A highlight of his years at Capitol occurred when Ray joined Frank Sinatra to record the hit Melody of Love.
I was a big fan of Frank Sinatra and a pretty close friend of his as well. The two sides that Frank and I did together, Melody of Love being one, he was in great voice. I'm pretty proud of that one.
Having conquered the live concert stage and records, Ray became a staple of the silver screen. In 1955, Ray appeared as himself in Daddy Longlegs with Fred Astaire.
In Daddy Longlegs, my band performed, and Fred Astaire, of course, was the star of that movie. And you talk about a great guy and a great performer and a great lover of music and time, and some of those things that he has done as a dancer are just fantastic.
Not long after Ray completed work on Daddy Longlegs, he married Mamie Van Doren, the buxom starlet discovered by Howard Hughes.
Believe it or not, Quincy Jones introduced me to her. Quincy and I go back quite a few years. She was at Universal doing a picture, and Hollywood was, kind of a small town compared to New York. I mean, a lot of people knew each other. So somehow Quincy found a way for me and Mamie to meet. Well, we were only married for about 3 years, but she was a piece of work at that time. She was gorgeous.
Although he remained busy with his music, playing the clubs of California and the showrooms of Las Vegas, Ray found time to appear in several motion pictures during the 1950s.
I was in about 15 movies, some as an actor, some with a band.
In addition to High School Confidential and Girls Town, which starred his wife Mamie, he played the part of Jimmy Dorsey in the critically acclaimed 5 Pennies.
5 Pennies related to Red Nichols' life, and Louis Armstrong was in the movie as well. So there were already 2 trumpet players, so I had to hold on to the saxophone like Jimmy Dorsey.
Ray's warmth, humor, and easy style also made him a favorite of TV audiences.
We replaced Perry Como for Chesterfield Cigarettes on the CBS network 2 summers in a row, 1953 and 1954. In 1953, Helen O'Connell and Bob Eberly were the singers on the show at the same time. The following year, we did the show with our own singers. Since then, I've had 3 or 4 other television series. One for ABC for Plymouth Automobiles, that lasted about 30 weeks, and a couple of syndicated shows.
From Hollywood, it's the Ray Anthony Show. From Club Anthony, high above the fabulous Sunset Strip, the Ray Anthony Show, featuring the Anthony All-Stars and a host of exciting guests. Now, here's your host and the star of our show, Ray Anthony.
The syndicated Club Anthony ran for 26 weeks in 1963. Shot in a nightclub setting and featuring Anthony's band, other regular performers on the show included Vicky Carr on vocals and Kelly Green on the piano and vibraphone. The dancers, Anita Ray and Diane Hall, were known as the Bookends.
What I did was start a small group, Las Vegas style, pattern, there again, pattern after somebody else. This one was patterned after Louis Prima in the style of music, and also Mary Kay Trio. The Mary Kay Trio was Mary Kay with two guys, one on each side, sort of framing her. So we thought that was kind of unique. So we hired two girls, dressed them alike, had them perform, dancing, singing. And eventually we got them called the Bookends because people in the audience would say, dig the crazy cufflinks or bookends or anything of a twin form.
Every time I see that grin, I'm such a happy individual.
The idea was an immediate hit, and during a time when the casinos in Las Vegas and elsewhere were attracting all the top acts, Ray's new group quickly established itself as one of the Sahara's hottest tickets.
They hired us for 4 weeks and held us over for 19 weeks. Their other headliners in the lounge were Don Rickles and the Mary Kay Trio. So we would play along with them when they were on, and then we would play 4 weeks on our own, then back to with Don Rickles and back to with Mary Kay and so forth. Eventually we went to 4 girls and then to 6 girls and 10 musicians. And from 1960 through 1980, we had what we'd call the Bookend Review and traveled all over the world.